Hello, everybody. This is Aiden Fleming. We're listening to The Blitz right now, and I'm here with Jason Deneke, my friendly neighbor, and here in Bomb City, and we're doing an interview, and let's jump into it. So, Jason, first off, was it true that you wore an anti-swastika back patch on your jacket, like in the movie Bomb City when Dominic Ryan Gabriel played you as?
Yeah, I usually generally did have anti-swastika patches or pins on my jackets and stuff.
That's cool. So that gives a little bit more realistic view to and authenticity to the movie. And second, what do you think about Jacob Morin covering up the Stanley Marsh's signs that you and Brian Denneke put together around town?
I think he says he does it in the name of art, but I think those signs themselves are art, and so I don't think it's really that good of an idea for him to be covering up other people's art just because of who Stanley Marsh was.
Yeah, that's true. Because I think there's more history to it than just Stanley Marsh's name written on there. You know.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. And so this is about Brian Theodore Denneke and Jason Deneke, the fall of a comrade, Brian Denneke, from 1978 to 1997. I wanted to ask you, who was all in the Bomb City Punks and Skins crew?
There's really too many to name. We had kind of had our own little skinhead crew though. It was like, me and your dad, Brady Clark, Dave Poindexter, Matt Bohannon, a few other people, Paul, JT, a few other people.
I remember JT at my one of my birthday parties.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him in his red boots and all
Yep.
that. So how was it filming in the Bomb City movie? Because I know that you were the security guard or the guy up there that let the actor playing as Brian Denneke go in, Dave Davis, and how was that filming in the movie and having your face in it, the original face? Because only certain people can catch on to that if you know who you're looking at, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience. It's kind of interesting to watch how they did all that and made the movie. But
That's cool. Yeah, and I also saw Chris Soules in there too.
Mhm.
The real Chris Soules in there. So I didn't catch that until I watched it like about 2 or 3 times. But I thought that was really interesting.
yeah, and actually the real John King was in there.
Yeah.
And then in the concert scene, there was actually a bunch of people from Amarillo that were in that scene.
Okay.
So they grew up with us.
Okay.
So that made it even, a little bit more special.
Yeah. So it's not really just a bunch of like paid actors. It's like a little bit of the real deal too. A little bit of the real crew in there.
The real crew, the real scene was a part of it. So.
That's cool. I wanted to ask you, because this is your side of the story, and it has to do a little bit with Brian Denneke. But what was Brian Denneke's and your street life like?
Just, basically normal teenagers, normal kids out skateboarding, going to punk rock shows. And,
Can you name some of those punk rock shows that you went to, you and Brian?
there's about so many to name. But,
Okay.
We actually also booked a lot of bands and shows like Blank 77.
Oh, really?
Link 80. There's millions. It's hard to remember them all.
Family Values?
Family Values, yeah.
Oh, I remember
Avail.
them. Yeah. Avail? Oh, that's cool. I have some Family Values patch and a Veil patch too. Yeah, from my dad actually, and so it's true that Brian Denneke was a vocalist in a punk band, the White Slave Traders. Was that his band that he put together?
It was him and a few other of our friends that were all just punk rock musicians and got together and did a cool little thing.
That's cool. So about the signs in Amarillo, how did you and Brian Denneke come up with the idea, and was it Stanley Marsh's idea?
It all started with Stanley, and we just worked for Stanley, and so sometimes he'd either give a theme that he'd want, the sign painted based on that theme,
Okay.
or you could just pick whatever and do your own thing.
Did you and Brian Denneke and Stanley Marsh kind of like come up with the words and the phrases on the signs? Is it originally your idea? Like,
It was, a lot of it was Stanley, or depending on who painted the sign, because there was a bunch of different, people that worked for him
oh, okay.
during that whole time that he was doing the signs, and so.
And Brian Denneke got a pink Cadillac from Stanley Marsh, right?
He didn't get one, but Stanley had one.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, we actually all probably drove it at
Oh.
some point or another when we were out giving people signs. So.
Okay, that's cool. And I noticed that the Dynamite Museum is the biggest art project in the U.S. And I thought that was really cool, and it marks our territory, and it marks Bomb City as like a real historical place
Mhm.
for in the whole U.S. And I think that's pretty punk rock. And I read up a little bit on Brian Denneke, and word out there says that he went to Crockett Middle School. Is this true?
Yep, he did.
You went to Crockett Middle School. I went to Crockett Middle School, you guys, and I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that until like recently when I was reading up about him. Did you go to Crockett Middle
I
School?
went to Crockett too.
Jason went to Crockett too. So was his nickname was Sunshine? Am I correct?
That's the nickname that Stanley gave him.
Oh, the Sunshine.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay. And so Brian Denneke, if you guys don't know, he died at the age of 19 years old, the same age I am today. Did he really used to throw? He really used to throw shows where he lived, right?
Yes, at the H Street house.
Okay. What's the H Street house named? Is it just called the H Street house, or?
It's been called many different names depending on who lived there at the time. There's the Green Room, the St. Barbie house, the 8th Street house.
Oh, okay. Is that place like closed down, or?
Yeah, actually, I think I heard that it burned down not too long ago.
Oh, it burned down?
A couple years ago.
Oh wow, that sucks. So I remember when I saw the actor Dave Davis, who played Brian Denneke at Cadillac Ranch. That was a really thrilling experience. I remember seeing you two there, and seeing him and everybody pretty much there wearing I don't know, but like the same kind of T-shirts handed out. What were they called?
The Bomb City Crew.
Yeah,
for
Bomb
the
City
movie.
Crew
Mhm.
on there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. My other question was, did Brian Denneke ever rock Liberty spikes?
Yeah, he did actually. Mohawk and all kinds of different other field spikes and whatever. It's changed all the time.
Okay,
Colors and everything else. So
that's cool. Did you ever rock a mohawk?
I did.
You did? Oh, okay, that's cool. So how many colors did he go through with his mohawk?
Too many to count.
Oh, really?
It was some kind of different variation with different colors. So.
Okay. Is there a color that did he have like his own colors that he certainly liked, like punk colors that he liked?
It was mostly green, so it was mostly green.
Green? Okay. What about you? Did you have any colors that you stuck with most?
Mostly just my normal color, purple every once in a while.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. What was Brian Denneke's and yours favorite bands?
They kind of varied between us, but Brian's mostly more of the anarcho crust punk, like Crass or like Subhumans, Nausea, Filth, stuff like that.
Okay.
Dead Kennedys was actually one of his favorites. Mine was more. I listened to a lot more street punk in a way, like Dead Kennedys, Blitz,
Okay. Okay. Do you know Bishop's Green?
I've heard them.
They're pretty cool. I
They're
like
pretty good.
Bishop's Green, and I caught on the end of the movie Bomb City when Marilyn Manson spoke about him. That was touching. What did you think about the movie?
I think they did a pretty good job on the movie and stayed kind of close, pretty as close as they could to the story with making a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was really much that they could have done much different to make it seem more authentic.
Yeah. What did you think about Marilyn Manson speaking about the whole incident?
I thought it was kind of cool for a celebrity like that to know about it and to say something and speak out on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. It was pretty touching actually, and he had some good points there too to mention. And after the movie, the end of the movie, Bomb City. Another question is, what do you think about the effect the movie left on Tascosa's reputation? Did you go to Tascosa?
I never went to Tascosa. We actually went to Amarillo High, but I don't know if it really had that much of an effect on Tascosa's reputation as a whole. Because after all that happened, kids kind of changed the way they thought about people that were different. And, football players started hanging out with skaters, or were skaters, or punk rockers, or whatever. So after a few years, it kind of changed.
Okay. So about the fight, can you give me an approximate number there was of jocks versus the punks on Western Plaza?
There was too many jocks to count, 'cause there were carloads of them.
Oh, okay.
And there's probably maybe, I don't know, 10 of us maybe.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. And he always, Brian Denneke, and you always carried like weapons because you needed them in here in Bomb City for defense purposes, right?
Yep.
Okay. And it was usually because of the bullying or the hate and the people that are like classing you and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and they would always try to pick at you or something.
Always something, throw stuff at us, call us names driving down the street.
Okay.
Stop, try to jump us. So
Okay. Well, also, what was going through your mind during the day of the fight?
it's kind of hard to remember really. Just we didn't really think it was ever going to turn into anything like it did. But we weren't going to not show up either. Because
Mhm.
if some of our friends show up, then we got to be there to defend them too. So
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was going to turn into what it did.
And it was true that y'all that night y'all were just going to IHOP, and just for the, just to go there, and then so they met up with you, and they made like a whole half circle around you, pretty much surrounded.
Basically, pretty much.
Okay. And they used their choice of words to try to spark you up into going
Mhm.
across the street. Okay. Well, also I wanted to ask you what was going through your mind during the trial, the day of the trial.
I was just not really sure what was necessarily going through my mind. I was just hoping that, that people would do the right thing and justice would be served, which obviously didn't happen. So.
Yeah, that's true. You only got sentenced to probation with a $10,000 fine that was eventually dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true that you and your parents filed like an unlawful act against
Yeah,
that
there was
scene?
also a civil trial.
A civil trial? Okay. And how did that go?
That actually turned out, I think that actually turned out better than the actual trial in terms of finding him more guilty for the wrongful death.
Oh, okay. Okay. So lastly, can we see Brian Denneke's punk jacket for future punk rock inspiration?
Yep.
Okay.
Right here.
We got it right here. So this is Brian Denneke's punk jacket, and the real deal It's got filth on here, and he's got nausea on the back. And he does the same thing that I kind of do with the paint pens, like your casual paint pens that you would get from Michaels, and he's got some other bands on there. As you can see, he spiked his collar pretty good, and it's really just a really good punk jacket, especially after everything that's happened with the whole scene, everything that's going through. It leaves a big historical mark, and it's an honor to see this and carry it around. It has Drunk Punk on there. Pretty sure that's from Anti-Flag, right?
No, that was actually their crew kind of thing from
Oh, okay.
Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
That was before,
That was way before Anti-Flag, yeah.
And this is, I forgot what this
That
was
That
again.
was Crass.
Crass. We got some Crass right here. And he spiked the whole back, as you can see. And put patches on there, spiked the back rims right here with some regular hardcore spikes. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool. And he's also got some Chinese or Japanese writing right here. And I noticed that on the movie, so that's really identical. And he's also got Subhumans. And this is actually just a really cool jacket, if y'all can see. A really cool jacket to see. And well, there you go. Thank you very much too for coming in and having your time in for this interview. I think it's going to mean a lot to have your story out, and including a little bit more backup history on Brian Denneke and the punk scene, or the Punks and Skins crew from Bomb City, Amarillo, Texas. And I just want to thank you again.
No problem.
Alright, see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Punk's not dead. X yeah.